Can you all hear me? Thank you so much for that wonderful laughter session. Did you have a good time? Okay. So I want to talk logistics. Jermaine, thank you for hooking me up. My left cheek is kind of not covered, but it's for the good of the video. So my outfit is okay. All right. Anyway, thank you so much. That really was an intervention. I wasn't kidding. I put you through something that altered the state of your body and your brain. There's a lot going on. Would you agree? Yeah, a lot. I mean, you'd have to be... Oh, okay. I knew this was going to happen. Allison, raise your hand. This is my lovely wife. She's going to do a clap on if I miss a slide. Okay? All right. So you'd have to be a monk not to experience what's happening. Now, Bree, did you know? I want you to look at the bling. I want you to look at the Creative Morning bling. So actually for years, when it comes to glimmers and when it comes to hope and when it comes to getting on the other side of stress or anxiety, I have often found myself saying, what would the monks do? Because I find that, I mean, even today, look what's going on. The monks are walking, right? And the monks have an amazing ability to not make it their own. It's like this Teflon approach, letting it roll. And that is something that I inherited from my parents, my father especially, and his mother, and you're going to meet them in a little bit. So I've renamed this workshop, Trust the Crack, because there are glimmers inside. And let's define glimmer as a micro moment of light, of love, of just some kind of breakthrough. And you get to define that. I can't define that for you. This morning, to me, that was a glimmer. We created conditions in our body that allowed glimmers in. So we've got to trust the crack. It is in there, right? We got to go back. We got to go back. So, with fear, with anger, with anxiety, whatever is going on, when you do something to the body that starts to take care of, and I'm using layman's terms here, starts to tone the vagus nerve, that long cranial nerve, you do automatically put your body into a parasympathetic state, and that brings it calm. So this is me literally at 30,000 feet. I don't like to fly. And so I start laughing. Let's see if you can hear it.
It's turbulent.
Turbulence.
I'm at 30,000 feet.
Okay, you get it. So what I'm doing at that point is and this is another tactic that I use and that I coach to, is ignore the dominant feature. If there's something that's going on out there, then do your very best to ignore it. I know it's easier said than done, but that was me ignoring the fact that I was in a 150-ton thing of steel, and I wasn't thinking about the flight. And I bring a lot of my dead grandparents with me on each wing, and my mother, and I have a ritual. But I ignore the dominant feature that I am 30,000 feet in the air, and that is the key. So even laughter, even going into the laughter system, as I said, it's not done for happy, it's not done for joy. You might get joy and you might get happy afterward, but it is done to exercise and work that vagus nerve. Anything you can do. Kissing works, hugging works, cold plunging works, singing works, eating well works, sleeping well works, eye movements. Do me one favor, keep your head forward. Now take your eyes and move them all the way to the right as far as you can go without hurting, and wait until you blink, swallow, or yawn. And then bring it back. That is one way of toning your vagus nerve. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I love the visual because this shows that, during the day the sun is out. You can't see the stars, right? But at night we ignore that dominant feature and the stars come out. What happens in Vegas? You didn't have to clap. I said it already. Okay, so I want to just quickly, this is a little educate, this is a little inspirate, I made that up, and a little narrate, because I want to talk to you about what my makeup is all about and why I get through life. I don't get through every moment of life. I'm human, I break, but I have the tools. So, anybody ever hear of the happiness set point? Okay, this is the happiness set point. It was basically the studies of the happiness set point came out in the 80s when positive psychology was at a height, and this is an arbitrary baseline that we all come back to, like our happiness set point, our threshold. When we get the job, when we win the lottery, when we get the girl, get the guy, get the job, whatever it is, our happiness set point goes up, but eventually it comes back to threshold, baseline. All right, and studies have been done. Even lottery winners win millions of dollars. They're so happy. 2 years later, they're back to threshold or below. So your happiness set point is determined by 3 things. 50% of your happiness comes from your DNA. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, that's how it is. 10% comes from your circumstances, where you live, how much money you make, just your general conditions. And 40% of your happiness threshold, your happiness set point, comes from your thoughts, actions, and behaviors. We just experienced a thought and an action and a behavior. So that's how you can lift your happiness set point. What are you thinking about? What are you asking yourself? What are you playing with? And I'll talk about some of the questions that we ask ourselves in our happy home. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Again, every single moment of the day? No. So that's the happiness set point. I wanted to do just a little bit of background so that you can see how we can affect that set point. Are we good? Yeah. All right. We are good. So another strategy is called mastering the pause. What we did today, we interrupted a pattern. We stopped, and we did something that we don't normally do. Now, that stopping is not going to be laughter yoga for you every day. It could be. You can laugh in the bathroom. You can laugh while you wash your hands. You can laugh in the car. Just laugh. Even smiling. Give me a fake smile. Like, push the crow's feet. Right? Even the act of smiling gets your zygomaticus muscles and other muscles going that help to do the same things that laughter does. So you have to master the pause. That little tattoo is a tattoo that we give participants at our joy retreats. And this is something we see every day. Do we look at that all day long on our phones, on videos? So we believe that mastering the pause, like pause before you play again, right? The rewind is okay, the fast forward's okay, but your happiness and your joy and your glimmer is found in the GPS coordinates of NOW right now. And you can't get there until you master the pause. So I say slow down time. Just slow down time. And if I'm feeling hot, if I'm feeling angry, if I'm feeling like I have no control over what's happening, I need to slow down. Okay. And I use that visual in jest, but to stop what you're doing. Okay? To stop to say, all right, I need to switch over what's happening in my body and my brain. We are wired, our brains are not wired to keep us happy. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. It comes from, you've read this, caveman days and cavewoman days, right? So we're wired for safety, not happy. So it's up to us to raise that happiness set point, to raise that morale curve by doing those things that you need, asking those questions, and making the most of your life. It doesn't have to be a perfect life, okay? But as Lisa Nichols, one of my mentors, says, it doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to be deliciously imperfect. So what I thought I would do is talk to you a little bit about my life, just bits and pieces on how I made the most of the dash. Has anybody heard of the dash? Right? So the dash is originally a poem by Linda Ellis, and it's all about making the most of your life. Because what's not important on the tombstone is the year you were born, now you know, and the year you're going to go push daisies, okay? What matters is what you do with the dash in between. That's where you find your glimmers. Now, I'm giving you the quick and dirty version, but we're going to see how my DNA in my family and my thoughts, actions, and behaviors and my conditions help me. Look at that face. Okay, really quick. So this is my grandmother, Matilda, and that's my mom, Ruth, and that's my dad, Howard, and that's me. Aww, just together. Aww, all right. And so this is my life, and I grew up in Philadelphia, and I am in my bathing suit there because my happiest memories, and the ones that I call on today, this many years later, are of me at the beach. I grew up at the beach. We had a happy home. We had lots of love and lots of kissing and hugging and meals and extended family, and there was so much warmth. If you look at our home movies, it's all hugging and kissing and eating, hugging and kissing and eating. That's all we did. And we were at the beach. And so I have this amazing memory of the sun on my skin. I pull that, I conjure that in, not for nostalgia. I conjure it in as a tool and a resource because I know I can go back to that place where I felt warm and settled and safe and relaxed. I use it for plane rides. I use it for drilling my teeth. I use it for difficult conversations. So you pull on your resources. It's called broaden and build, where you go back to positive experiences and use them as personal tools. Barbara Fredrickson. Yes? Did you clap? No. Oh, you're waving. Okay. So, Dad and my grandmother, this is the point. My grandmother lived to 107. Nothing bothered this woman. Nothing. All three have passed on. But my mother laughed from the day I was born, probably because I was born. My father, nothing bothered my father, and nothing bothered his mother. They had this amazing ability to let it go. Long before there was Mel Robbins, there was Howard Mitnick. And my father was let it go, although he said it in Yiddish. Los im Gehen, right? Let it go. Never bothered him. I mean, he never let anything bother him. So that's my DNA. Sometimes Allie will say, doesn't anything bother you? Like, yeah, some things do, but I have that Teflon ability, right? Okay, so here's a tender pivot, right? My youngest sister lived with us, of course. Well, not of course, but she lived with us, and she had the same beach and the same meals and the same love and the same hugs that we all had. But she took a turn. And her body it was seeking light, and she didn't have the ability to find the light. Okay? And so she closed the door on Corsu living. And because she closed the door on her glimmers, it was a hard life, even as a little girl. Hard and lonely and heavy, and because it was hard, lonely, and heavy for her, it could have become very hard, lonely, and heavy for me. Just going to talk about me. So I needed to create boundaries in order for me to keep my glimmer. I mean, it was a tough time. It was like living with a mean girl, 24/7. It was a very sad situation, and it happened when she was very young and then continued. And when it happened to her, I was like puberty, pimples, like not feeling gawky. I was not feeling great about myself, and I have someone in the house who's very difficult, very distracting, very harsh criticism, really upsetting. So I had to work my boundaries, but that skill of boundaries stayed with me my entire life. Right, so and it taught me when to avoid things, sometimes not to avoid things, to avoid things. You find your Corso depending on what you need, right? Are you with me? So I call it a pal because she was an energy vampire, and I was sucked dry. And so I always said I loved her, but I couldn't like her. And so in 1996, I just practiced tough love, and I lost a relationship with her. But she lost a relationship with everybody in the family. But I kept a picture of her as a sweet little picture of her at 4 years old. I still have it. I keep it in the medicine cabinet. I look at it every day because it was a way for me to remember her sweet and loving and cute and safe. and I wanted to remember her as safe. Unfortunately, she passed away last June. Just not healthy. Okay, so I had to get my Corsu ass out of town. And my other sister was like, you left because I got stuck doing everything. Well, I left. That was my way of keeping my glimmer. Sometimes you got to go. So I went to, you're going to get a very quick history here, but I went to BU. And yay! Okay, good, Boston. And I only show you because I even picked that based on how it felt. It gave me a glimmer. There was no internet. I looked at a college bulletin. There were some cute girls in it with puffy jackets, and I said, I want to go there. They were cross-country skiing. Their way to class, and I'm like, I'm going there. I majored in occupational therapy. I didn't like it, so I switched it. I found communications. That felt right. When something feels good, you stick with it. Doing what you're genetically wired to do is the key to finding and keeping your glimmers. Okay, real quick. So I got married. The one on the left was my first husband and my last husband. Okay? And then we had 2 children. They're not broken at all. I had 2 wonderful children, Molly and Nicholas, and they're full grown and thriving, and they are my glimmers too, right? So I wanted to catch you up a little bit. And then I met this one. Woo! And basically what I want to say about this and finding your soulmate and glimmers is that they are synonymous. Do we have moments? Boy, do we have moments. But we call it creative abrasion, and all of that is a glimmer. And there's a question that I ask myself all the time, and it's how we became attracted, and that was, does this person allow me to finish my childhood? Does this person allow me to finish my child? Does your spouse do that? Does your partner do that? Does your best friend do that? Does your frickin' boss do that? That question is so important to me, and if you can say yes, that you can finish out your childhood the rest of your life, you are in a glimmer state of mind. Okay, work. Let's talk about work real quick, because work is an important part of our lives. And again, what's most important is that you are doing what you are genetically wired to do. I have other than the chambermaid position I took for a day, I have felt like I have been in my sweet spot. From being a beach badge inspector in Ventnor City, New Jersey, outside of Atlantic City, to being in training and development for many, many years, to doing cultural work, to this joy work. It's been amazing. And I have been in my genetically wired place. The best gig we ever had, I'm sorry. So just take a picture if you have your phone out of this wonderful hedgehog concept. If you can say yes to all these questions, that's how you know you're in your sweet spot. What are you passionate about? What can you do better than anybody? And what is somebody willing to pay me? And the answer that gets repeated in all 3 circles is typically your sweet spot. But the best job ever, and where we were in our sweetest spot of all, was our B&B up in Provincetown. And because we honed every skill we had built that we loved, not the ones we didn't. Right? And we bought this old Victorian, and we restored every inch of her, and she was an award-winning inn, and it is the best gig ever because we were in the spot. And we were in the spot together. It's just an inside view of how we changed it. Okay, I gotta go. All right. So, dun, dun, dun. There was a little banana peel moment, and the egg slipped. And it was in the form of a diagnosis. So in 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And when I first heard it, now I'm pretty quick. Remember, I'm like the monk, right? I let it roll. I don't own it. But that one it got me, but not for long, because that's how I'm made. So I was very shocked at my response. Well, I wasn't shocked, but I was very quiet and I was calm. And so I listened to that. So my decision for keeping a glimmer became agency. It became orientation. It was not about optimism. It wasn't about hope, as in, I hope I don't have cancer. I hope it doesn't rain. I hope the Eagles win, right? Whatever. So I dealt with it. My wife, on the other hand, had a little bit more of a difficult time. She lost her hearing in both ears. Talk about a spiritual message of not wanting to hear. right? So, but we work through it together. I want to let you know that Greg Braden, who's somebody I follow, and he's pretty amazing. And I saw this video of a woman who had a 6-inch tumor, and she was in a medicineless hospital in China, and she had these practitioners around her who were skilled and seasoned in chanting these words that meant it's already gone, it's already done. And I couldn't figure out the words, so I found the script of the documentary. And the closest I could get was they were saying, wa-sa, like, wa-sa, right? So, but say it with me, wa-sa, 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 wa. And they were just following a follower. They were following each other with such intensity. And over minutes, this woman's tumor shrunk. And you could see it on a split screen. So I thought, screw it, I'm using their word. I was going to make up my own word. I thought, I'm going to use that one. So I got myself a healing team. And they did what they needed to do. It's been 8 years. I'm all clear. I don't know who did it or what did it, but I kept my glimmer. I kept my glimmer. And then she and I and the 2 cats came to sunny St. Pete, and even that was based on a glimmer. Because we were in Provincetown and in this #1 inn on Cape Cod doing our thing, and we watched this TV. We watched a wonderful chef on the chef's table, Dominique Crenn, who's got amazing restaurants in San Francisco. Long story short, we were so moved by her creativity on the plate, we started weeping. Like, why are you weeping? Why are you weeping? We were so moved by her creativity. Even though we were living very creatively, we said, what else can we do to keep feeding us? What else can we do? We said, let's move. We made this place profitable. Let's go. So we came to sunny St. Pete, and we spend our days doing what we love. We work. We are doing our workshops, our joy retreats. Allie coaches golf now. We're saying yes to things that feed that glimmer. Yes, things that feed the glimmer. So Joy X happens to be the name of the retreat, and Allie designed the logo, and I'm so proud of the logo, more than the retreat, because look at that O. Look at that use of negative space. But because you are here, your joy is right here in the now, right here. That's where the glimmer is. Thank you.
Any of the topics she talked about or something else? Any burning questions on joy, laughter, glimmers?
It's okay.
I have a burning question. I feel so lucky I get to speak one-on-one with our speakers before the event, and it leads me to thinking more about when you show up and what you do. And so you spoke a lot about what you look forward to, but what is the next thing you're looking forward to this year? What is your glimmer for 2026?
Well, I'm in a program called Year of Miracles. And the mentors of the program I have been following online, like Lisa Nichols, Mike Dooley, Marcy Shimoff, Lynn Twist, Dr. Sue Morter, the Energy Codes, some great mentors. And so I'm in their program. Because I thought, years ago I would have been just business goals. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just about my business. And that was not really where my heart was taking me. So I'm in my 2nd year, I just started this week, and I'm working on creating miraculous intentions. They're not about the program. They're not about Joy X. That will happen if I can get to a greater intention, whether it's grace or ease or relaxing into love or letting go, whatever it is that I need to pick. But I need to pick them by the end of the weekend. To work on miracles this year, not so bad.
Sure. By the end of the week. We do. All right, first, I'm going to go to Yasmin.
Yes. What kind of training did you do to prepare you for these retreats? Like, for example, it reminded me a lot of breath work and EMDR and tapping. So I'm just curious of what kind of training.
Well, I have to say, other than taking an apprentice and master coaching programs, I'm life schooled. And I think my makeup, even in training and development, spending decades in that industry, my job and my role, not even my job, was to always to lift people. Right? I threw away the training manual. I never used the company's manuals. In fact, I don't even use handouts. This was hard enough. All right? And I just kind of go with, where are people? What do they need? You've heard of the golden rule, right? Treat people the way they want to be treated. Sounds good. I like the platinum rule. Treat people the way they want to be treated. So if you remember the platinum rule, right, then you, in your coaching, in your meeting, in your hiring, even your firing somebody is actually an act of love if it's not working out for them. So that's I just kept that platform of thinking and that philosophy in everything, and the whole, even running the inn. People would come and check in, and they would finally let their shoulders drop, and they didn't allow that for themselves in their homes. And so we met thousands and thousands of people who checked in, and it was oh my God, I can read, or I can have a cup of tea or a glass of wine. It's can't you do that at home? They couldn't. So we work with, how do you get rid of that get the gunk off your junk, right? And so, long answer to, I don't have a degree in gunk removal. I just have been talking to people my whole life. And, I am certified, thank you. I am a certified laughter yoga leader. I'm not faking that one. Thank you for asking.
Hello. Ooh, wow.
Hi, Jessie.
Hi, Queen. How are you? You're such a mentor to me, by the way. And
thank
you're
you.
a glimmer of hope for all of us, so thank you.
Thank you.
I have a bummer of a question.
A bummer?
How do you, in this moment of our lives where we're I think for a lot of us, we're living two lives of watching the news and trying to, clean the litter box and pay our bills and shit.
Right.
So my question is, how do you, with the monks and the Teflon, cool idea, but how do we do that practically? How do we don't have the privilege of not knowing what's happening in our world anymore, so how do we still protect our joy? How do we balance that?
That's a great question, and it's different for everybody, but I don't watch, did you say watch the news? I don't watch the news, although Allie is very well read on it. We don't watch TV news. So we're aware of what's going on, but we decided that we are not letting everybody else take control of our joy. Call it, if it sounds a little too Hallmark, we like it. We take day by day very seriously. And we do what we love. We stay grounded. We start every single morning, how do you want the day to feel? Not did you freaking see what happened yesterday? We talk about that too, but how do we want the day to feel? We do protect our energy. Just like I did with my sister, I needed to create a boundary. So I create boundaries for myself. I stay in a high vibe tribe. My friends and my miracles group, I go from friends to my lovely to my miracles group and to my friends. Because that's my vibe. That's where and we can talk about stuff. I don't want people to feel like they can't mention what's going on in the world with me, but I just, like the monk, right? They don't own it. They listen to it. They ask, is this mine to carry? Is that mine to carry? Right? It's not mine to carry. So choose your channel. Wherever channel you choose is where your energy and your attention is going to go. So we can talk some more. But that's really what I do. She has a great quote that you found from a show. It's on a magnet or a bookmark or something. But when life gets crazy, stay focused on the thinnest slice of now. That's it. Thinnest slice of now.
I will close it off on that great quote, because why not? And just to stay good on time. But I just want to give a huge round of applause to Ilene.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.